Dylan Dreyer reveals shocking Today Show schedule change. Dylan Dreyer has been with the Today Show for nearly 15 years. She's been through all kinds of changes during her time on the NBC News program, but she revealed a recent shocking change that was difficult to overcome amid Craig Melvin's plan to quit. Keep reading to find out what's going on. Dylan Dreyer reveals shocking Today Show schedule change. Dylan Dreyer has been through difficult upheaval in her personal life. She filed for divorce with her husband of 12 years in March. The filing came nearly a year after their separation. Unlike most divorces, the split is amicable and they co-parent their 3 sons. The mom of 3 turned 45 earlier this month. Her co-hosts showered her with gifts. However, that doesn't mean things are easy at the Today Show. Dylan Dreyer revealed a shocking schedule change that was extremely hard to adjust to. The anchor of the show's third hour was on a special assignment this week. She went to Alaska for a special report. Alaska is known for its stunning scenery, but there's a downside too. Dylan Dreyer shared on Instagram that the 4-hour time difference between Alaska and New York City meant that she had to set her alarm for 1:30 a.m. This time difference is no joke. See you on the morning live from Ketchikan, Alaska. What time is she getting up? Idaho, Alaska. Get it? No? Okay, good night. She wrote on an Instagram story with a screenshot of her alarm. In another screenshot, she shared the stark difference between flying into LAX in Los Angeles, California, and flying into Alaska. Dylan Dreyer's trip to Alaska was part of a Today Show segment about the importance of conservation. NBC morning program spotlights conservation efforts. The 49th state is a popular tourist destination. Ketchikan, Alaska is located on Revillagigedo Island. It's only accessible by water or plane. It's a popular port for Alaskan cruises. The Today Show partnered with MSC Cruises to spotlight marine conservation efforts. Dylan Dreyer went whale watching as part of her assignment that aired on August 13, 2026. She reported on the efforts to protect humpback whales and other marine animals, but she's not the only Today Show host to join the efforts. Al Roker adds on assignment to Ocean Cay in the Bahamas for a follow-up report on coral restoration. According to an NBC press release, the report also spotlights how important coral reef ecosystems are. The report from the Bahamas will air later this year. In addition to education on conservation efforts, Today Show viewers get 10% off select MSC cruises departing from U.S. ports using code TODAY10. Share your thoughts on Dylan Dreyer's huge schedule change in the comments. She swung her legs over the side of the bed, her feet finding the cold hardwood floor. 1:23 a.m. Time to get moving. The bathroom light was too bright and Dylan winced as she caught her reflection in the mirror. 45 years old, and she could see every one of those years etched around her eyes this morning. The divorce had taken more out of her than she had expected, even though it had been amicable. She'd filed the papers on March 10, 2026, nearly a year after the separation. 12 years of marriage to Brian Featra, the man she'd met when they both worked at NBC's Boston affiliate station, WHDH-TV. 12 years, 3 beautiful sons, Calvin Bradley, Oliver George, and Russell James. The separation announcement had come in July 2025, a carefully worded Instagram post that she'd rewritten a dozen times before publishing. "We began as friends and we will remain the closest of friends," she'd written. "Most importantly, we will continue to co-parent our 3 wonderful boys together with nothing but love and respect for one another." She'd meant every word. There was no scandal, no betrayal, just the quiet recognition that they'd grown into different people. During a November appearance, guest hosting on Today with Jenna and Friends, she'd opened up about the emotional process of ending her marriage, describing it as freeing. "Whatever reasons, whatever broke in a marriage, you could either fix it if you can, and ideally you would, and you try to fix things, or you accept that it's broken, and you take this new step forward," she'd said. She told her sons that family was a group of people that love each other, and that mommy and daddy worked better as friends than as husband and wife. Calvin, at 8 years old, didn't care about the titles. He doesn't care what we are officially. None of them do. They are surrounded by love every single day, Dylan had reflected. But even surrounded by love, the weight of the divorce pressed down on her. Some days were easier than others. Back in the Alaska hotel room, Dylan pulled on her layers: thermal underwear, fleece, a waterproof jacket. August in Alaska was beautiful, but beauty came with a chill that seeped into your bones. The crew had been warned to dress in layers, to prepare for rain, to expect the unexpected. The unexpected. Wasn't that the story of her life these days? The boat was waiting at the dock when Dylan arrived with the production team at 3 a.m. The sky was beginning to show the faintest hint of gray on the horizon, the first whisper of the dawn that would come later here than it would in New York. The crew was already setting up equipment, their breath fogging in the cold air as they worked. "Morning, Dylan," said Mike, the veteran cameraman who'd been with NBC for decades. He handed her a cup of coffee that was more caffeine than anything else. "You look like you could use this." She took it gratefully, wrapping her fingers around the warmth. "What time did you get up?" "Didn't go to bed," he admitted with a grin. "Figured, what's the point? By the time I'd fall asleep, the alarm would be going off." Dylan nodded, understanding completely. She'd posted a screenshot of her 1:30 a.m. alarm on Instagram, joking about the time difference. "This time difference is no joke. See you on the morning, live from Ketchikan, Alaska." "What time is she getting up?" "Idaho, Alaska. Get it? No? Okay, good night." The boat's engine rumbled to life and they set off into the misty darkness. Dylan took her position at the bow, the cold wind whipping her hair across her face. The production assistant, a young woman named Jess, handed her a microphone pack and helped her clip it to her jacket. "5 minutes to air, Dylan," she said, her voice bright despite the ungodly hour. "We'll start with a live shot from the boat, then cut to the pre-recorded segment from yesterday's whale-watching expedition." "Got it." Dylan took a deep breath, centering herself. This was the part she loved, the adrenaline of live television, the knowing that millions of people were waking up with their coffee, watching her from their living rooms. But today felt different. The weight of the schedule change, the uncertainty about Craig's future, the personal upheaval of divorce, it all sat heavy on her shoulders. 10 seconds to air, the producer's voice crackled through her earpiece. Dylan straightened her posture, pastured on her professional smile, and waited for the cue. 3, 2, 1, and we're live. "Dylan, good morning. You're in Alaska, and it looks beautiful there." "Good morning, Savannah," she said, her voice warm and steady, despite the exhaustion. "It is absolutely stunning here. The mist, the mountains, the wildlife, it's everything you'd imagine and more. Right now, we're on a research vessel, and behind me, if you look closely, you can see the crew getting ready for today's conservation survey." The segment rolled smoothly, and Dylan felt herself sink into the story. The partnership between the Today Show and MSC Cruises had brought her here, spotlighting the work of marine conservationists who were dedicated to protecting humpback whales. The conservation mission was urgent. The partnership between MSC Cruises and Orca, a marine conservation organization, had placed a dedicated marine mammal observer aboard the MSC Poesia during the cruise line's inaugural Alaska season. This observer, positioned on the ship's bridge with binoculars and video cameras, tracked whale behavior and trained crews to avoid devastating vessel strikes. Between 2020 and 2024, there were 9 reported vessel strike incidents in the Juneau area alone. 6 involved calves. Collisions with large vessels went unnoticed or unreported, their victims sinking beneath the waves. The Observer program is a science-driven approach to a problem that had long been invisible. "If you see a blow, go slow," Steve Jones, Orca's chief operating officer, had told her during their briefing. "The second you become aware, you try and slow down as much as possible. If you're aware far enough in advance and going at a slow enough speed, you can maneuver around a whale." The live segment transitioned to pre-recorded footage from yesterday's whale-watching expedition, and Dylan watched herself on the monitor narrating the footage. Humpback whales breached in the distance, their massive bodies arcing through the misty air before crashing back into the water. It was breathtaking, humbling, the kind of moment that reminded you why you'd chosen this profession. But as the segment continued, Dylan found her mind drifting. She thought about the call she'd had with Calvin the night before, how he'd told her about his latest Lego creation. She thought about Oliver's spelling test and Russell's endless questions about everything and nothing. She thought about Brian, how they'd settled into a rhythm of co-parenting that surprised them both with its ease.